On a bad day, Mother Nature can be one of the most destructive forces known to man. With no limit to her destructive ability, man-made structures and equipment shudder under her immense power. Rogue waves, also called monster waves, are just one of the many manifestations of Mother Nature's incredible strength. Rogue waves are unpredictable and extremely dangerous to sea vessels unlucky enough to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. They seemingly appear out of nowhere and can reach heights of 80 feet. In extreme cases, they're even capable of sinking large ships. These waves disappear as quickly as they come, so footage of freak waves in action is hard to come by. Let's take a swim at 5 monster waves caught on camera and the destruction left in their wake. The Indian Ocean is the third largest water body on Earth, and it occupies 19.8% of the water on the Earth's surface. It connects regions like the Arabian Peninsula, Africa, and the Middle East, making it a vital route for sea travel and transportation. In particular, the Strait of Hormuz is an important shipping lane, which serves as a route from the Indian Gulf to the ocean. It's a strategic choke point for international trade, and as such, several ships use that route on their way to their destination. The weather in the Indian Ocean is far from perfect, and sailors who travel this route have to deal with the erratic temperature patterns experienced here, called the oceanic dipole. The dipole is an irregular sea surface temperature, which leads to different temperatures in different areas of the Indian Ocean. Things get even more volatile in winter. While searching for the remains of the tragic Malaysia Flight 370, which disappeared in March 2014, one unlucky ship found itself in the southern Indian Ocean face to face with a dilemma of its own. During the search for the wreckage, the sea suddenly turned on the ship and trashed it with waves measuring up to 15 feet high. The crew hung tight and prayed, because waves like that could easily flip a ship upside down. After riding the wave to the top, the ship experienced a massive drop, sending huge swells of water over the edge and onto the deck. Luckily, the ship sailed through and no one was badly injured. Some waves are big and powerful enough to sink ships, ocean liners, and even oil platforms. They form spontaneously and randomly in the high sea without any rhyme or reason. In times such as those, the captain of a ship has got to rally his men and help them get through those terrifying moments, even if he's scared himself. One can only imagine the thoughts of this captain who was sailing with his crew through the terrifying waters off the coast of Brazil in 2010. While on a routine journey in the Atlantic Ocean, the weather quickly took a turn for the worse, swaying his ship violently from side to side. The walls at the rear of his boat were just low enough to allow water in as the ship received a thrashing from the rogue wave. It didn't take long for water from the sea to flood parts of the deck. At this point, the person recording realized that the situation was becoming dire. After some time, we can see a massive gust of water rush into the hallway, drenching everything in sight. From then on, it was chaos as seawater quickly filled the rooms. This might have been a horrifying experience for people on this ship, but luckily it wasn't enough to damage the engine or topple the ship. When this terrifying video of a man surfing a mega wave went viral, most people thought it was from a movie or just a Photoshop hoax. However, it's actually completely real. In 2017, Brazilian surfer Rodrigo Coxa was recorded surfing an extreme wave, which rose to a record 80 feet. As he moves across the mountain of seawater, he looks like an ant trying to outrun a watery avalanche. Rodrigo appears to be unfazed as he rides down the side of a massive wave, which cascades, rolls over itself, and breaks on the shore. This massive wave was captured on camera in November 2017 off the coast of Nazir, Portugal, and it's considered the biggest wave ever ridden. It was such an unprecedented surf, it earned Coxa a Guinness World Record and an award in 2018. It dwarfs the previous record for the largest wave ridden, which topped out at 73 feet. When asked how he felt about his accomplishment, Coxa was all smiles and told fans how amazing it felt at the top of the monstrosity. To grasp how massive and dangerous riding such a wave is, you have to understand that even 30-foot waves in Hawaii have led to the death of at least 10 people. The American military is notorious for dropping bombs in the ocean to test their destructive power. One such test that took place in 1946 removed all doubt of the ability of nuclear weapons in maritime warfare. Bikini Atoll, which is located on the Marshall Islands, was the selected test site for a missile dubbed Operation Crossroads. The military suspended a nuclear device named Helen of Bikini 90 feet below sea level near the deserted island. This test was carried out to assess the effectiveness of a Navy ship against a 21-kiloton megaton bomb. The top brass of the US Navy believed their ships could handle the destructive might of an enemy airstrike dropping nuclear bombs on their ships. The first bomb to go off showed just how terrifying underwater nuclear bombs could be. Researchers initially projected that several of the ships involved in the blast could survive the explosion and even shrug off nuclear contamination. They were wrong. The ships used in the test were so contaminated by radiation that they had to be abandoned. Today, the Marshall Islands are also a graveyard for irradiated ships. The nuclear test produced a bubble of hot gas and water that rose up to 1,700 feet. This explosion displaced several gallons of water, creating waves strong enough to throw most ships out of the water. The blast also created underwater fireballs that rose to the surface, creating giant pillars of salt water more than a mile high. The waves that followed were so massive that they could flood inland areas of Bikini Atoll. When most people think of a cruise, images of relaxing scenery, buffets, and dinner shows are what come to mind. Unfortunately for the tourists on the Antarctic cruise ship Celia 2, things took a dramatic turn when their ship was hit by a brutal wave at Drake's Passage. The passage is one of the most treacherous voyages for ships to make, and it didn't hold back on the fateful day in 2010. While on its journey to Argentina, the Celia 2 was hit by a wave straight out of a sailor's nightmare. The captain quickly declared an emergency as the ship suffered engine damage due to the turbulent waters. Weighing 2,420 tons, the Celia 2 is no small ship, yet it could do nothing against the 55-mile-per-hour winds which whipped the ship around like a toy. The waves captured in the incident climbed up to 30 feet and shut off power and communication on the ship, leaving everyone on board no choice but to pray for their lives. In over 100 trips to the Antarctic, the captain claimed to never have experienced weather as violent and unpredictable. During this life-threatening ordeal, the captain of the Celia 2, Idar Peterson, used all the skills and techniques in the book to reassure his 77 crew members and 88 American tourists and battle the elements for control of his ship. The waves washed over the deck, breaking the handrail and all the windows in its path. Videos of the Celia 2 being thrown around by the waves were captured by the National Geographic Explorer, which monitored the dire situation and stepped in to help once things started getting out of hand. Explorer crew members sent over satellite phones attached to ropes to the upper deck of the Celia 2 to facilitate communication. If things had gotten any worse, it might have been an outright catastrophe. Thankfully, none of the passengers were badly injured. As weather patterns fluctuate all over the globe, monster waves may become even more rampant. Recent studies indicate that an increasing amount of energy is establishing itself in the Earth's atmosphere. This means that sailors may experience larger storms in the years to come, causing storms and rogue waves to become more common. Researchers still have a lot to learn about waves and how they are formed, but with improvements in technology, better weather radars, and more accurate laser measuring devices, scientists may uncover ways to predict these so-called freak waves and measure them properly. Sailors have known for centuries what scientists have documented only in recent decades. The ocean is a far more dangerous place than common sense would suggest. Sea occurrences like hurricanes, rogue waves, and tsunamis are just the tip of the iceberg in Mother Nature's destructive arsenal. Now, if you like these videos and want to see more, then make sure you leave us a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications to be the first to watch all our new and exciting videos. I will be replying to every comment on this video as well, so good luck.